Hi, Dr. Paul Haider here. You know, as a kid, we didn't have a whole lot. My dad worked on the farm, and when he came from India, he worked as a laborer. It was like working for 30 cents an hour. That was not much back in 46. And we didn't go to the store except once every 2, 3, even once a month. And so when we finally made it into town, because we lived about 10 miles out of town, it was such a treat to go to town, first of all. It's a treat to even go to the grocery store, and third of all, once in a great while, we would get some lemon drops, and that was a wonderful treat for me. You know, a little white bag full of maybe an eighth or a quarter pound of lemon drops, and I felt like I was on top of the world. I had everything. There's no doubt about it. And there was a young lady, and she was born in Russia, and they had nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. One time a year they would get a piece of bubble gum and they would chew that bubble gum for a whole week until we finally kind of chewed up all the flavor and everything out of it, and it was pretty much unusable. And they were near Chernobyl, and they ended up getting radiation exposure, and they were just little kids, her and her sister, and they ended up in the hospital. And they wouldn't let anybody in to see them, but her mother would sneak in every night to see her two daughters. Wow. And then they finally immigrated to the United States, and being little kids, they didn't know any better, but they ended up in a homeless, place with just some beds, and they thought, wow, this is a great hotel. And in that homeless place, she found a penny, and she felt like she was the king of the world because now she could go buy a piece of bubble gum. And that changed her life forever because she could buy a piece of bubble gum. And she'd never been able to buy bubble gum before. And she would get a piece because her parents would find one, buy one every once in a great, great while, maybe once a year. But now she could buy it on her own. It's amazing what a little austerity, a little lack can do in our lives. If we've never had a lack of a place to sleep or a lack of a place where we had food, it makes you think about what we have and what we have in a way of gratitude for what we do have. We do have a shelter, we have a home, we have food, we have friends, we have family around us. And a lot of times we take that for granted because we just get stuck in our own heads. Remember, if you have a penny, you are the king. And every day, you are the king. I love you.